Good morning to you all. Myself Shreyasana, and today we will talk about the vision and tears. Now in this video we will talk about the parts of eye first, and then we will understand the types of tears and their functions. Also we are going to look at one and only blind spot. So let's start. Firstly, let's start with the functions and the parts and the functions of the eye. So here we can see the diagram of a human eye, in which we can see the parts like ciliary muscle, iris, pupil, cornea and retina, lens, blind spot and optical nerve. Now let's start one by one and let's understand the function of all of them one at a time. So firstly, here you can see, so this part is cornea. This part you can see, this part is cornea. Now it is like the protective layer and it is the above layer of the eye. Now cornea, what it does, it protects the eye and also it moisturizes the eye. So if the moisture of our eye will be not there, so believe it, we will be blind. By the blind word, I remember one fun fact. Do you know that human beings are blind for some weeks after birth? Colorblind. They can see all the things black and white only. Yes, human beings are colorblind after the birth for some weeks only, and after some weeks we can see just red color. Yes, it is true. And then slowly we are able to differentiate all the colors, and then as we know that we are able to see all the colors clearly. So this is the cornea and it protects the eye, and then you can see this thing over here, this thing, and this thing is known as, yes, it is iris. Now what is iris? Have you seen the colors of eyes, like the brown or dark brown, blue, right? And some humans also has, rare humans also has green colored eyes. Now this is actually our iris. Iris is the colored part which you see in the eye, like the blue colored you have seen. Some people have blue colored eyes, some people have dark brown, like I have the brown colored eyes, dark brown eyes. So this is the iris. It is the color which you see, right? And then between the iris you must have seen a dark spot. What that dark spot is? It is pupil. Now pupil, what it does, pupil is like the hole. As you can see here, it's the hole between these iris. So here you can see this is the iris, and between it there is a space here, this space, and this space is your pupil, right? So this space is your pupil, and this pupil can be thought as the hole in our eye. So this hole, what it does, it allows the light to enter. And do you know, pupil also, it can change its size. Yes, pupil can change its size. Now why it changes its size? Now just imagine you are in a very lit room, well lit room. Now there is a lot of light, so pupil will become smaller. Just notice with the mirror. Now pupil will be smaller. Why? Because as there is a lot of light around, pupil allows just a little bit light, a small amount of light to enter the eyes. And when you are in a dark room, so what happens? Now it enlarges so that because the light there in the dark room is very little. So your pupil enlarges so that enough light can enter in your eye and you can see the dark room even also. So this can be observed when you go from a well-lit room to a very dark room. Now when you enter suddenly in a dark room from well-lit room, so what happens? Firstly, you are not able to see anything. Why you are not able to see anything? Because your pupil is getting enlarged. Now it is in process, it is enlarging. So that's why at the first second you can't see anything because your pupil is slowly enlarging. And when you enter the dark room, after some time your pupil enlarges and you are able to see the thing. And the same opposite happens when you moves from a dark room to a light room. When you moves from a dark room to the light room, firstly you are just able to see light everywhere, right? Just try this. Just stand in a very dark room and move to the very lit room. You are going to see just light and light. Nothing else. This is because a lots of light is entering your eye because your pupil is enlarged. Now the pupil needs to get smaller so that you can see all the things clearly. So that is about the pupil. And what you can see then, lens, right? And now lens are very interesting. They are the one which helps you to focus on the thing. Like the camera, what happens in the camera? Zoom in and out, right? Similarly, our lens are like the lens in the camera. So they zoom in and they zoom out, and the same with our eyes also. Now you can see here that this lens actually changes its size according to the situation. Now, for example, if you need, let's just do one activity. Just try to get two things, an apple and an orange. Now place the orange behind the apple, a little farther from the apple, and place the apple like this. So if you will do like this and stand near the apple. Now try to see the apple. When you see the apple, the orange becomes blurred. Try it. When you see the apple which is near you, the orange becomes blurred. Why is it so? Because your lens is focusing on the apple, right? So your lens is focusing on apple. That's why the orange is now blurred and all the surrounding areas are blurred. Then, if you will focus on orange, the apple will become blurred. Why is it so? Because your lens are changing its size and it is now focusing only on orange and not on apple. So that's why only orange is much more clearer than the apple and the surrounding. So lens is actually changes its size. Now, who changes its size? Can it change its own size? No, right? So we had seen already that the bones are not able to move on its own, and the muscles help them to move, and the muscles also help other body parts to move. Here is also a muscle behind the lens to help the lens, and these muscles are ciliary muscles. Now ciliary muscle, it controls the size of the lens, as you can see. So this here you can see this size. So it is connected to the lens. Ciliary muscle is connected to the lens, as you can see in this figure, and it controls the size of the lens. Now when you want the bigger lens, ciliary muscle will contract, and then when you want a smaller lens, so ciliary muscle is going to relax. So this is how it works. So ciliary muscle helps the lens to become bigger or smaller. So we had seen the functions of pupil, cornea, iris, ciliary muscle and lens. Now the next part you can see over here is retina. Yes, the main part of eye. Retina is the one where the image forms. Now when we see anything, the image of that object forms in our retina. Now as you can see, this is the retina, this layer which you can see. This is your retina. And here in this layer, what is there? What is present in this layer? In this layer, the photoreceptors are present, right? So in this layer, photoreceptors are present. So when the light from the object it enters our eyes, it goes to these photoreceptors, and there it forms the image. The photoreceptor, as the name suggests, photo means light, receptors means light. Receptors you can just understand. So receptors, what they do, they sense the light, and then the photoreceptor, it forms the image over there, the photoreceptors, and there are some special cells present above the photoreceptors. So firstly the light goes to photoreceptors, and then the photoreceptors just sense the light, and then there are the cells which converts that signal into the electric signal. Yes, so you know that the light, it can't go to the brain directly, can it? No, right? So we had already seen that the nerves, actually it can only transport the electrical signals to the brain. So that's why the light sensor, that is the photoreceptors, from it the light is converted, that signal is converted into the electrical signals, and the electrical signal reaches our brain through this special nerve, optical nerve. Optical nerve. Yes, so optical nerve is the nerve which connects the eyes to the brain. So that's simple. So we had seen all the parts of eyes, leaving the blind spot. So we're going to understand the blind spot over here. Just have a look. See, blind spot is an area, as you can see here, and at this area there is no photoreceptor, right? Because see, here are photoreceptors present. Here are photoreceptors present. But at this area over here, at this area, there is no photoreceptor, right? So at this area, in this area, no photoreceptor is there. So if the light falls on this area, there is no photoreceptor. It means we are not able to see anything if the light falls on this area. That's why the name is blind spot. Now here, if the light falls, we are not able to see anything. Then how can we see all the things around us? Right? We are able to see all the things around us without missing any object. So of course the light is going to fall on this spot, right? So why we are able to see all the things? It is because we have two eyes. Not only one eye, we have two eyes, right? So the things which are missed by this eye is taken by the, let's say the things which are missed by right eye is taken by the left eye, and the things which are missed by left eye is taken by the right eye. So this is the clever arrangement of our eyes. Yes, so our eyes is arranged in such a way that nothing is missed. The things missed by left eye is taken by right eye, and the things missed by right eye is taken by the left eye. But what if we close one eye like this? But still we are able to see all the things. Nothing is missed. So here comes photo editing. Not the computers. No, but it is the photo editing done by our brain. Yes, our brain is so clever. It does the photo editing. Now what happens in photo editing? Now when our one eye is closed, so what brain does? It just the blind spot. So the things left by the blind spot. Let's say that you see something over here. Just imagine you see something over here, right? And this thing is missed by a blind spot. This thing is missed by a blind spot. So what our brain does? Our brain do the photo editing. So the brain, it fills the space according to the surrounding, and also it uses our memory. So brain, now it sees that okay, there is a pattern over here, so the brain fills this left out space, and this is photo editing. Now let's say you visit a room like your bedroom. So you know your bedroom very well, right? So what happens when you closes one eye and the one eye is open and the things missed by the blind spot, so what brain does? It uses its memory. Yes, it uses its memory and then it fills the space, and this is your photo editing. So that's how the brain manages the blind spot. It was so easy, right? And it's just thanks to the clever brain of us. Now we had understood about the eye, the blind spot. What is left? Tears. We all have cried at least once in our life, right? So what happens when we cry? The tears roll out from our eyes, right? So have you ever wondered how the tears come? Is it the water which we drink? No, of course not. From where the tears come? So the tears come from the lacrimal gland. Yes, so there is a lacrimal gland present over here, right? And also it is present here near our nose. So you can see the lacrimal gland, it is present over here. It is present lacrimal sac, and here there are lacrimal glands. Now the lacrimal gland, what it does? The lacrimal gland, from it only the tears come. Now do you know there are types of tears? Yes, there is no only one type of tear for all the things. No. There are types of tears. And how many types of tears do you think there are? There are 3 types of tears in total. So now let's understand that. So there are 3 types of tears. What are they? First is your basic tears. Second is your reflex tears. And third is your emotional tears. Now, do you know there are lots of facts associated with these tears? Let's understand. And do you know that tears also has the function? Yes, it is not that the tears are just useless. No, tears has the function also. Let's see that. So firstly, the basic tears. Now basic tears, the function of basic tears is to moisturize our eyes. So it moisturizes our eyes. Moisturizes our eyes. tears, it moisturizes our eyes. And then you have the reflex tears. Reflex tears, it cleans our eyes. And when we cut the onions, these are the tears which are released. Yes, so when we cut the onions, basic tears are not released, emotional non-reflex tears are released. So they cleans our eyes. Cleans the eyes. And one more thing over here, do you know that basic tears, when they are released, sometimes or most of the times, we don't realize it. Yes, basic tears are more often released and we don't realize it. Then the reflex tears, and then there are the emotional tears. Yes, as the name suggests, emotional, when we are very happy, when we are very sad, when we get hurt, right? So at these times the emotional tears are released and they are very important. Do you know, emotional tear, it releases the stress hormones. And have you ever noticed after crying you feel relaxed? Why is it so? Because the emotional tear releases all the stress of your body. So when you cry you feel relaxed and a little bit happy than before the crying. Yes, of course. And emotional tears also. If you are crying and if your emotional tears are coming, so do you know if you are going to stop forcibly your emotional tears, so negativity will increase in your brain. So never forcibly stop crying. Stop slowly, because when you stop forcibly, the negativity in your brain starts increasing. And the stress hormones, if you stop crying forcibly, suddenly, so your stress hormones are also not released fully, right? So that is the reason. Now one more fact over here. After crying, we feel sleepy, right? After crying, we feel sleepy, and the babies, if you have seen, they just cry and then they sleep, right? So why it happens? Now it happens because when we cry, our breathing, it slows down. Now just notice it sometime. When you cry, your breathing, it slows down, and as your breathing slows down, oxygen reaching our brain also gets lesser and lesser. Now if our brain is not getting oxygen, energy, so we feel sleepy. Our body parts, they are not getting the oxygen. Now they are getting less energy, and that is the reason why we feel sleepy after crying. And when we sleep after crying, it releases all the stress from our body and it relaxes us. So that was all for today. So thank you for watching this video. If you want an improvement in me, so you can comment it in the comment box. Thank you.